Well, welcome to another live show. I'm Nigel Main. Thanks for joining me. I really mean that. If you probably have an idea, it takes a bit of time to set this stuff up and get it all together. And when you deliver it, you know, my week finishes on Thursday after I've done this. It's like, finished. And then we have a day in the weekend, and then start building up for the next show to prepare and so on. So when people join and they watch this, and we know who's seeing and how many people are viewing this, not just on the day but afterwards as well, it's a real buzz. And I was talking about this earlier today, that it's such a big deal in doing this type of thing, because our job, our role as salespeople, and people who run a company, anybody, doesn't matter who, the point is that you must be in a position to tell your story. The more people you tell your story to, the more you will sell. That's a fact. It's been Dale Carnegie said that back in the day, how to win friends and influence people, and that's the point of this. There's stories, and I'm going to talk about recruitment and stuff like that, but it really is about how this technology is spectacular because it's so accessible, and it enables you, me, us in business to communicate our story to a staggering audience, and it's not mainstream for B2B. That's the great thing about this. So what I'm going to do, we talked. You've seen the title, and it was to let's go onto here. The title and in what we're doing is to do with recruitment for within B2Bs, and I'm saying it's broken, and there are people that are earning their money within the recruitment industry going, don't know what you're talking about. But you're not the focus of this conversation. It's the B2B owners that are the focus of this conversation and what I'm communicating today. One of the things about these live streams is that they are directed at CEOs, and the previous ones I've done relate to investors, people looking at the earlier part of that process or problem in terms of generating and getting hold of investment, looking at the correlation difference between SMEs and enterprise, looking at what CEOs have been not forced to do but do, are kind of driven to do, and what influences them in doing those things. And then you've got technology, which we talked about last week, and the influence that technology has on businesses. And ultimately today we're going to talk about how the people in recruitment affect them. But the whole point of this is that if I was to say, well, I've got a new way of doing things, buy this bit of software, you would switch off. I'm saying overall, the whole thing about Sales Exchange and Scale Up is the mechanism within B2B doesn't work, and we've got a solution. But before you actually agree with or would engage with any kind of solution, you need to see what's happening, what's going on, and that's the point of these live shows, which are, as long as I'm able and as long as I think I've got something to say, I'll keep doing every Thursday at 11 o'clock. Let me just change my screen up here so I can see, I can read, and don't have to put my glasses on every time. Basically, I'm making an assumption. Every business wants to scale up. They want to do more business. They want to increase their income and so on. But I say, as a synopsis, that businesses are being destroyed from within, being damaged from within, or destroyed, whatever, through B2B digital marketing. And the solution is remove the B2B digital marketing element and automation, and in the process of doing so, understand the difference between B2B and B2C. I'm not being flippant, but it is critical that businesses understand that they have been sold a process that was intended for consumers, not businesses. Really, really, really important. And this process, what we're talking about, everybody wants more. That's how it's always been. And I mean, I was thinking when I'm doing, so I'm working out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to present this and communicate it. And I'm going, everyone wants more, 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 more. And I've got this 70s tune going in the back of my head. So I thought I'd put it on there, but a bit of levity because it's a serious subject. People want more sales. People want more income. But to increase that income, it is generally accepted that more sales means more people. You need more people. We've flogged it to death, the whole thing about, work smarter, not harder. Yeah. More sales, more people, more sales, job done. As part of that process is you look at marketing and you need more advertising and you need more SaaS and you need more marketers. So the bottom line is more people. It's constantly more people. And, you've got people that give it the big one about improving systems and so on. But it's all about the people. And people go, our best asset is our people. Yeah. We've all heard that. Don't do the figures, you're fired. And so, because it's all about the people, there are 3 elements to this. And we're going to talk about 4 in total because we've got the solution at the end. But you've got salespeople, you've got marketing people, and in order for them to appear, you've got that recruitment process. And so, you look at the internal process. You start off with. So we start with salespeople. So we're going to look at how we go about recruiting salespeople, and then how we go about recruiting marketing people, and then look at how that interaction happens with talent acquisition and recruitment, and then what our solution is overall at the end of it. So you need a salesperson. You want to increase your sales team anywhere. It doesn't matter where. So you understand you want more. So you get a job description done, which is the one you used before. And you send the job description out, give it to talent acquisition if they're internal. And the process happens, CV comes back, you assess the CV, take them on. Caveat emptor. Yeah, buyer beware, because you don't know whether they're going to be able to do what you want them to do when they do it. You kind of ask, well, why are you leaving? It's all part and parcel of the process. And you go, well, we're not getting any leads. There's not many prospects left in the company. It's not really going where I want it to go. The demands that are being made on us are outlandish because the business wasn't happening, and we've got all these problems, and we're being told now to go back to doing telesales. Big issue. And to kind of a summary is marketing is sabotaging my future. I won't read every single one of them out, but marketing blaming salespeople for performance. Marketing got KPIs, happy days. But salespeople are not getting the leads. Every salesperson, every sales team complains in B2B. Be clear about that. Where's the leads? Where's the leads? And that's, you can't get over that hurdle. You must see the people. You must communicate to the people. Reverting to cold calls, marketing controlling first contact and BDRs, targets going up exponentially, ridiculously. Marketing saying, well, nothing more we could do. We've done everything. It's salespeople's fault. That's why we're not doing the business. And I would put it and say, well, marketing are controlling the financial security of salespeople. That's enough for any salesperson to want to leave. So there's lots of reasons why they might want to leave. But the critical bit is not just for where they came from, but for your organisation. What's happening with this? How many interested prospects are your salespeople actually speaking to and having doing something with them? How long is the conversation for? And I put that up there because I've spoken to BDRs who were absolutely bouncing because they spoke to someone for a minute. How many initial Zoom calls are they doing? Or Teams or whatever. But how many are actually happening every week? seeing the whites of the prospect's eyes. It's critical. And how many presentation, demonstration and deals are actually coming in every week from everybody? Because it's all numbers, isn't it? So if it's a struggle to answer all of these, there's a reason. I'll just make a point here. This picture was my effort within AI to come up with kind of core intrigue, backbiting and slander and all that kind of stuff. Because salespeople can prove their performance because you say, right, well, give us your information, give us your pay slips, give us your rewards, let's have a look. Easy. But after their decades of experience, they're being reduced back to telesales because they're not getting the leads. And they're being maligned by marketing. We've never sold ever. They don't sell. And it's critical, the last two bullets, the critical. Buyers hate filling out forms. They want to self-serve. And you and I, as buyers, as owners, we will define an ROI before we do anything. But this has been fact going back to 2012, 2013, 2014, when this research first came out. And coupled with all of that, all this information, the quality and type and availability of content is so poor that when people look at websites and look at information and content, they go, I can't be bothered to see, so I don't want to see a salesperson. So this is like a double whammy because the leads are not there, but the content's not good enough. It's all scant blog type information, and we've talked about that in previous live streams, which are recorded. You can go back and look at them. And so the quality and depth of the content's not there, so people can't learn. So they're not interested. So then we move on to marketing. So you want to replace your marketer. And the people are kind of stunned by this. The average tenure of a marketer, CMO, senior marketer, is between 9 and 18 months. Yeah. You've heard of Seth Godin, marketing person. I'd already written it, and he'd said it on a show that it was the same in the UK as it was in the US, that marketers would join a business and only last about 18 months before they moved on. And so, and why is that? Well, it takes 3 months. You take them on board, 3 months to get their feet under the desk, come up with a plan, 12 months to execute it, 3 months to find a job, they're gone. It's on the internet, it's on recruitment websites, it's everywhere. Typical average tenure. Nearly 10 years or so has been going on. And so if you're thinking about getting another CMO, think of that bit, but think of this process first. It's absolutely critical. And so then you go, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to create a job description. And we'll probably add a bit here and there to it, but we use the one we had last time. And yes, this is only a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Because you're the CEO, you're the business owner. Okay, I'm making this assumption, so you're CEO, you're the owner. You won't have looked at many job descriptions for CMOs. I've looked at loads of them. It's laughable. Let me just run through for the sake of the people listening to us on podcasts, because I take this, you might know, some of you know already. After I've recorded this, then goes to podcast. And by the way, I'll just show you this for the what we've got here. I've got some new sound panels, and if you think that the sound has changed in here, it sounds a bit better. I think I can hear it sounds a bit better. That's fine, and that's because we do. I don't know where I'm looking now with these cameras. I've got two cameras here. I've got another camera here. That's why we're able to lift this really, really easily and put it onto our podcast. Look at the right camera. Look, we can put that onto our podcast, and that's part and parcel of the process here. So, anyway, back to the show. So, you want a superstar? I've seen this, yeah? You want someone that's taken a company from 1 million annual recurring revenue to 10, 20, 50, 100, managed an army of people, knows every digital strategy and tactic in the book, on the book, in the books, on the books, in the book. Knows demand gen, lead gen, ABM, pay-per-click, reverse IP lookup, and every single social media strategy you can think of. And you want proof of that. Tell me about it. They've got to be astute. They've got to be competent public speakers. They've got to know PR and comms, separate to marketing. Yeah, they've got to know how to do a bit of public relations, get in front of the cameras. You want them to know copywriting, every single piece of technology in the tech stack. They also need to know, don't they, all the creative software that's around, and be able to direct people to use that software and technology. And, forgot, they've got to have a university degree, maybe in politics or something like that. SIM qualification as well. And maybe work for a charity in Outer Mongolia. Nothing too much to ask for, is it? And they come along and they say, here I am. I'm the person you've been looking for. My challenge for them is, so tell me the last business that you ran. Because we're expecting you to do some great things here to take our business forward. So we're expecting you to know how everything works, including being able to speak to other CEOs and other decision makers. But these people are not entrepreneurially creative because they're employees. They're looking for a job, not doing it themselves. I mean, even some of the people that do it for themselves as consultants, they behave in the same way as if they were employees in the first place. Job boards don't differentiate between B2B, B2C. And you've got to think, well, why is that? And with job boards and recruitment agencies, why should they know? Why should they know about your business or marketing? They don't do that. And I think that I say, how can they know your business? Unless they're going to do some homework and present something to the board to you or a board of directors in the first place and say, right, I understand your business and this is how we're going to take this plan forward for the future. They're not going to come up with a plan before they get employed. And the same old thing happens again and again. Steve Jobs said, we pay high salaries for people to tell us what to do, not for us to tell them what to do. So it becomes an ongoing process. So they get the job. And because they haven't done the research, the strategies fail. Consistently poor income. The failed strategies seem to transform into more SaaS. SaaS, okay? There are 30,000 SaaS platforms in the world, give or take. Half of them are marketing. A study recently was done. Businesses have between 30 and 70 SaaS platforms that they're paying for. And half of them, as we understand, are marketing related. The trouble is, we CEOs, we've done it. I've done it. You're committed to your strategy. You double down. And with a lot of businesses, they want to save face. And I wouldn't say rather than save the company, but it's a choice, because doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is not viable. And you're looking at research of failed strategies. Our results. I'm kind of bouncing around a bit here, but we're looking at what can people look at? What can they do? You go, calm down. What are the results of doing something like this? They're spectacular. I have 100+ people a week watching this, listening to this. It's me. I'm delivering this solo. There's nobody else in the room. You can do this and reach a market you've never, ever reached before with less people than you've ever employed before. I'll come to that and again in a minute. So, elephant in the room, another AI. Elephant in the room. Yeah, it's a numbers game. We know sales is a numbers game. It's always been a numbers game. But unless everybody is aware of how to manipulate the numbers and play the numbers, you're going to fail. It's going to happen. Failure rate of businesses, staggering. New businesses, first, second, third year, 20% go bust in the first, 30% second, 50% the third, 70% by year 10. So where are you? So you've got investment. 40% of businesses go bust that receive investment, period. 75% don't achieve the targets that they set themselves, and 95% don't achieve an ROI for the investors. That's why they're looking for unicorns all the time. So it's not working. And when we're talking about numbers game, your salespeople need to are always looking at the big numbers. Where's your target? You've got £1 million target. How much have you done? Where are you on target? What's in your pipeline? Pipelines are destroyed. It's not what people want. And I say that B2B marketing is an absolute catastrophe since marketing automation came in. The MAPs, marketing automation platforms. And what they're doing is that the reason that they're destroying your business is because you can't expand and grow at the rate that you want. You are dictated to by the levels of business that come in, and you're not controlling the business that comes in. The average turnover per person per annum in the UK is 120 grand. If you look at the BPM companies, business process management software companies, there are there's something like there's if you included enterprise architecture and robotic process automation, lumped them all together, the turnover 144 grand per person per annum, dollars. Excuse me. Google is $2 million per person per annum. They've got 2 arms, 2 legs. Yeah, no different to anyone else. Just a different approach. And that's what the fundamental problem is. And it comes back to a little point there, demand-based, saying 100% of CEOs, business owners, senior people hate filling out forms, which means all the work and effort and everything that you've put into marketing automation is a waste of time. I mean, it's a bit strange for demand-based to say because they're an ABM company, but hey, who's challenging them? I don't care. But marketers have had 15 to 20 years to sort something out. But going back to the previous slide, you're not doing the research. If you're not doing the research, you're not going to find out. So you've got to look at it and go, well, why? Why is this going on? You can see a pattern emerging here. You want salespeople, you want more business, you want marketers, you want more business. You've got to use recruitment. We'll come on to that in a minute. Why is it happening? This guy, I keep mentioning this guy, a guy called Daniel Kahneman. He wrote this book called Thinking Fast and Slow. And what we do, when we're thinking in a reactionary way, we think fast. When it's considered and researched, it's slow. So when you combine one of the other things, so it's page 66, I think it was, he mentioned about marketers. It's like jumped out at me. Marketing uses repetition. So we've got this repetition going on of people doing the same thing over and over, but still expecting to get a different result, but is repetition all the same? So the repetition has happened by marketers communicating to CEOs about buying the software and technology that everybody else has got. Everybody else can't be wrong, can they? This is what we need. Look at your job description. Demand gen, lead gen, ABM, reverse IP lookup, and gifting. Gifting, what is that? Mini bribes. Opens the door for, I'm not talking about that. Stay on track. Recruitment and staff. Who's telling them what to say and do? Well, in a if you want to look at it in a strange way, Lord of the Rings. Big Tech and Martech are telling the marketers what to say and do, who in turn are informing and instructing CEOs. If I ran a marketing automation platform company selling to the consumer industry, and business owners wanted to use it in B2B, I wouldn't stop them. Would you? Just because it worked in consumer land doesn't mean it's going to work in B2B. And consumer land is insurance, cars, houses, as in estate agency, clothes, perfume, luxury goods, holidays. All those things you can buy by putting your hand in your pocket, take out a card, pay for it. Anything to do with B2B, you wouldn't do it. Show me the money. Show me the ROI. We will evaluate it. So if you're not helping people evaluate it, i.e. educate them, forget it. So my view is that CEO has been blindsided or blindsided. And because of that, invest in more technology, double down, you want to see success. There's no alternative being offered. It's never been offered by marketers. I kind of have a problem. I do and I don't. But it's, on the one hand, I swim between one and the other. It's not their fault. They weren't told to go and research it. That doesn't wash with me. Some of them are just employees, not expected to think creatively. Okay, not your fault. The senior people, absolutely it's your fault. Absolutely lazy. Absolutely, get rid of them. Fire them. That's my answer to this. Get rid of them. You know, I'm deadly serious. Get rid of them. They're a waste of time, effort, and money and space. Take people on that want to expose your business to the most amount of people that you have ever exposed them to, been exposed to. Yeah. That's why these people are damaging businesses from within. There's absolutely no excuse. And the reason there's no excuse is because of what exists here, what I'm communicating, what I have communicated, what's on our website, and everything else. It's really important. And the bottom line is that as a CEO, you will not go and change your career for the sake of working something out, finding something out, and become a CMO or a marketer. You're not going to do it. You own a company. You call the shots. You're not going to do his job, her job. You've got to think about it. I mean, it is a big problem. So we talked about the salespeople, we talked about marketers, and the issues about acquiring them, getting them, having this honest engagement relationship between sales and marketing people, and between not just them talking to each other, but their relationship with you. Who they are, what they're doing, why they're doing it. It's critical. And the people that instigate those relationships are talent acquisition and recruitment. Recruiters, consultants, contractors, whether they're employed or whether they're employed are your talent acquisition in-house. Contracted, anyone outside. Yeah, you know where I'm coming from. Really simple. You give them this photocopied, this copied job description. They research a database. If they haven't got anyone, chuck it on LinkedIn or Indeed, and away they go. And at the end of the day, like I said with this other stuff, they're not your friends. They've got targets. They're not your advisors. They never were. They never have been. Yet there's this attitude of doing you a favour, but how? How is that possible? You know, it's just, I mean, it really does befuddle me. So anyway, so getting back onto this, I mean, you know, all these screens changing, but at the end of the day, here's a non-technical appraisal of what's going on. If you're looking for someone, that person's not working. Sorry, here are the options. They're potentially not working. So if they're not working, they've been registered and they're looking and they're with an agency. If they are working, not happy, they're looking and they're registered with an agency. Or they're working and they're not looking and they get headhunted. I mean, I'm being a bit cynical here about, and there you go, you've got this amazing CV that's courtesy of ChatGPT. All the work's done, CV's evaluated and everything else. Contacting to the hiring manager, here's a CV, love it, thank you very much, we'll take them on, get paid. Great. Perfect model. And by the way, you know Mavericks, because they can't hire Mavericks. They would never hire Mavericks. Mavericks could never be presented to you because your people in recruitment haven't been asked to find a Maverick. They don't know how to evaluate a Maverick. And they're doing what they're told. And I think the thing is that they're not an advisory service. And like I said, it's a great business model. You get 30%, 10, 20, 30% of someone's salary, happy days. And nobody has to prove anything. I mean, the salesperson can, but like I said before, the marketing person doesn't have to prove anything because you can't find the information. You're not allowed to. So again, caveat emptor. They're not going to do a plan before they come and join you. For you to evaluate them before they join. Or if you want my expertise, you have to take me on. So same block, different day. And I think that it becomes a big issue because as a CEO, you get all the grief and they get paid. And you go around the block again, do it again. But then you've got to look at, excuse me, you have to look at who's defining all these expectations from these different people. How have they come about? Why have they come about? And, who established the expectations and KPIs for marketing? And again, for sales, what happened for sales? Why that? Now, if you are seeing a certain number of people, because numbers going, yeah, if it's accepted, and let's face it, the whole sales and marketing tension between the two, ridiculous. They're working for the same company. They're working for you. There's bloody animosity between the two. It's because something's wrong, not because they're not playing nice together. Something's fundamentally wrong with the strategy. So it's got to change. So here's where it is. So who defined the target? It doesn't matter the chicken and egg bit, whether you look at marketing or you look at salespeople. Who defined it? How did it get defined? Just a couple of things. You can only define a target for a salesperson if it's based upon the numbers of people that he's seeing. Not seeing anyone, can't give him a target. And if the status was established, if the ratios were established that this many appointments equals this, equals that, and presentation, demonstration, get the deal signed, ring the bell, if you've got that happening on a regular basis, you can then therefore give them targets, and your targets are based upon your ability as a salesperson. Excuse me. Yeah? So it's purely numbers. It's always a numbers game. We're not talking creativity here. So if it's based upon numbers, why have the marketing people got KPIs and bonuses? Why are they getting bonuses? If they're looking to get the numbers of people that these people can go and actually see, as long as there's some kind of crossover, that the quality of leads that are coming from marketing correlate to agreed leads by salespeople, because their financial security depends on it. Marketing doesn't. So is the target based upon the numbers that are being given to them, or is the target based upon the necessity of the business to sustain an income to keep the business going, to keep the lights on? Whichever way you look at it, there's the mechanism and ratio is not good, not really sustainable. So take a pause. So we've looked at sales, looked at marketing, looked at recruitment, and we need to know what's going on in the business now and what we can do to change, understand it, what we can do to change, because the objective is more business. You want more business. Everyone wants more business. And it to an extent, doesn't matter who you are. Big company, bigger company. I mean, I'm a consultant. I have all this, which means you can have all this. No, I didn't win the lottery. Yeah? You can have, no. Or you could start with that. Yeah? Start with an iPhone. Got a camera on the back. There is absolutely nothing stopping you from doing this. And it's not money. I'll come on to that in a minute. It's not money. Okay? So you can put all that to one side and go, okay, if we're not looking at someone flogging us a load of stuff or doing whatever, let's actually look at what the problem is. Yeah? So if you look at this and go, well, okay, who's selling what? Someone's selling snake oil, because something ain't working here. Yeah. People could talk about a closer alignment to sales and marketing. Not going to happen. Never. Don't waste your breath on trying to make it happen. It's never going to happen. Salespeople have got financial targets and commission. Marketers have got KPIs and bonuses. And then they want attribution. They will go, oh, this is my deal. We want to confirm that this is down to us to justify their existence. And in amongst all that melee of aggro going on, marketing get about 10% on average. This is the standard statistic. On average, you get about 10% of the total business budget per annum. And even if you've got someone in finance going, well, I don't think you should get quite that much. What do they know? They haven't got a clue. Just playing a game. Should you have this SaaS or that SaaS? All finance know is, well, it's never bloody worked anyway, so it doesn't matter. Shave a bit off there, shave a bit off here. They can jump up and down, but it's never worked. Not in 20 years has it worked. So, of course, finance haven't got a problem cutting stuff off. And their marketing just bleat about it for the next 12 months. So, it's just an ongoing problem. So who's selling what to whom? Back to this again. It's the marketers selling the snake oil to the managing directors for their salary. Not bothered about sales. Never been bothered about sales. They're getting paid irrespective of sales. They're employees. The salespeople are the ones that get cheesed off because they're not earning any money. Yeah? Am I being cynical? I don't care. Are you doing enough business? Oh, there's your answer. And when you challenge them, they go, what's happening? They go, oh, we don't know. It's dark funnel. It's like, give me a break. The dark funnel to me says, I'm actually too bloody lazy to actually work something out, and we'll just call it a dark funnel anyway because everyone buys it. Because we're in marketing and we can use repetition, and people, we tell them enough times, again and again and again, and they'll believe it, they'll suck it up. It's not good out there. And so we've got to look at some of the basics. Real basics, kind of 101, which marketing are not doing. Tam Sam Song. You've got to know your total addressable market in the first place. That's why you went into business in the first place, because you knew there was a market. You knew it had a certain size. You knew the ones that you could actually deal with and the deals that you thought you could get. That's how it is. So here's the example, kind of a takeaway example. And the thing is, if you want these slides, just email me and I'll send you a copy of the slides. But you look at this example. In the UK, there are just under 6 million businesses. Of those 6 million businesses that have 50 employees or more, there are 44,000 of them. That's it. 44,000. Now, your product, whatever it is, you want to sell to businesses that got about 50 employees or more because they've got about 5 billion turnover and they can afford to pay for whatever you sell. Yeah. And if you just out of interest, if you look for 10 to 50, it's 212,000, bit more. But we're looking for the upper end, and of that 44,000, 8,000 You can see I'm not looking at my notes. So it says I've memorised this bit. So 8,000 have got 250 employees or more. Okay. So of that, you go, right, okay, 44,000 companies, quite a lot to actually manage per se. So you might not need or want to sell to all of those. That's just a company size. So say there were 10,000 you could sell to because of what your product does. Okay. So at the moment, you're using pay-per-click blogs and events, give or take. That's it. Hoping for the best, a bit of SEO and so on. Now, of your total addressable market, the salespeople, they'll know these figures. They've heard this before. Of your total addressable market, between 1 and 15% are looking to start their buying journey every week. That means 100 to 1,500 businesses every week out of your 10,000 are looking to do something, looking to start getting involved with it every week. Now, telesales. Think about telesales and BDRs. Typically, let's say you can make about 60 calls a day with 5-minute intervals. So you can do whatever you need to do, busy wrap up, or whether you want to get the firmographic information from ZoomInfo or Cognism or Dun & Bradstreet, whatever. Okay, so 5 minutes per call, 60 calls a day, 300 calls a week, 300 to one shot to find someone interested. So if you want to achieve, to actually engage with a relatively small, just 1%, you need 100 BDRs. I mean, the figures are easy on that because 100 BDRs, 50 grand a year, £5 million. It's never going to happen, is it? Not in a million years. You're not going to pay 5 million just to make phone calls. So the numbers, this numbers game, wait a second, this is all messed up. So how on earth are you going to be able to achieve anything really? I'm just looking at my slide to make sure I keep on track here because there's a logic to this. So, next one. Solution is simple. Is you remain transparent, visible and accessible. No more forms. Allow businesses to self-educate, self-serve and remain anonymous. It's not complicated. Get rid of your forms, get rid of your marketing automation, job done. Implement a new way of working. It's not about SaaS or anything like that. You have to make up for lost time. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about next week, about startups and scale-ups, about making up for lost time and how you go about it. But it's low cost because it's simply cameras, mics and lights. That's it. And here you are. You've been listening to me for, 40 minutes. I don't know how long. This engagement, your BDRs would never ever achieve in a million years. And all this is about producing content that your prospects want. So it's not about software, not about money. These are my notes on here. Not about software, not about money. It's self-driven because you drive this. No cost involved. And you can affect an immediate change. Some practical things to do with this that every single thing I'm talking about is online. Every guide, every piece of information you need is accessible on our website without forms, without registration. Go and do it now if you want. Well, not now. Let me finish this. But you can do it whenever. Got to practice what we preach. Social 444 is a simple logic of enforcing the promotion of content over the promotion of a product. I said earlier, we're not stupid. We know what the score is. You've been doing it for long enough. You run a company. You know what products are out there. When you think the time is right to do something, you'll go and investigate, self-serve, self-educate and remain anonymous. End of story. So what you need to find out really What you would be open to is someone promoting content that enables you to go and self-serve and self-educate. Simple. And Social 444 is a methodology that means that you create adverts, lots of graphics with links to your content on your website, and you put those adverts out on social media. We have just at the moment just under 200 adverts going out every single month on repeat. Do nothing, but it took a while to get them done. But they're constantly out there, constantly increasing awareness. That's why we've got 100 people looking at us every week. It's not genius. It's just logical. It's really important. And you can do this. You start this right now. You could contract, goodness knows how many people on Fiverr or something, and say, right, we want 20 adverts each, 20 pictures each. Get the pictures done. Use AI. I did. Loads of pictures, interesting, different looking pictures. Just to promote your content, because once they read your content, you've got a call to action that says, do this next. That's all you need. That's all you could ever hope for. You're not selling sweets or jeans or trainers. I'll buy it now. You're not doing that. You're being evaluated every step of the way. So then you've got to look at SEO and SEM. Forget it. Don't worry about it. Waste of time. But you've got to understand why it's a waste of time. You are not selling to consumers. You're selling to businesses. If your content isn't good enough, it won't get indexed. And your SEO, irrespective of what you're doing, it needs to be like 2,000 to 6,000 words and bullet lists, numbers list, indexes, graphics, infographics, videos. It's got to be a rich, deep, engaging piece of content. Every single one of them. Because if you're chucking stuff up from a little 4 or 5 paragraph blog onto LinkedIn hoping you're going to garner a bit of interest, it's not going to happen. And Google won't index it because it's not good enough for their customers. Grasp this one. You write a piece of content, Google will evaluate it and read it and go, oh, it's okay. It's not really good enough. We've got better content than that. We have got better content than that, which means you don't get indexed. Why? Because everything that you see on Google search is designed and presented for Google's customers. They're not your customers yet. They never will be, unless you get indexed. You might even be indexed and get de-indexed because better content comes along here. Why aren't we on there? And there's this constant rat race of producing content and producing more and more content because you're not getting traction and not getting anywhere on SEO. And these SEO companies going, oh yeah, we need to do this, need to do that. But I just don't know why it happened. Why aren't we appearing on it? Oh, I have no idea. Oh, it could be the latest update, the really useful content update. You find out what people have think about that. It's like our traffic's just fallen off the cliff. So what a waste of time and effort if you're relying on Google to support your business. Nonsense. And so if you're looking at that, pay-per-click as well, pay-per-click to landing pages, automation and everything else, what a waste. Because people have got to get to the pay-per-click advert, they get to your landing page and don't want to fill it out. 100%, demand-based say 100% don't want to fill it out. So what's the point of marketing automation? It's nonsense. And of course, nobody's going to tell you this because everybody's making money out of it. Marketing are not going to tell you this. You go, because you're sitting there thinking, right, okay, that's why we're not making any money. That's why it's not coming in. And they go, no, Nigel's wrong. Really? Prove it. I'm all ears. Because they want to get paid next week, next month, and the month after, and the month after. They want to keep their jobs. I'm not going to tell you that it's not working. Nobody is. Sales say it doesn't work. Don't listen to them because of the repetition that comes in from marketing. And so we're saying it's really simple. Stream. Stream to your customers. All of them. Everywhere. All at once. Something you have never been able to do before. You've never done this before. I'm hazarding a guess, yeah? It's not something that's on your radar for B2B. So I'm sitting here, I'm kind of quite relaxed, and, you know, I know how this stuff works, put it together, get it all set up, make sure I do a little bit of rehearsal yes, everything's working. I press one button and I stream on Facebook, LinkedIn and YouTube at the same time. Now, I haven't got that many people. I've got like 7,500, 8,000 people following me. You as companies, you've got tens of thousands of people following you across your salespeople's contacts on LinkedIn and your company pages on LinkedIn and Facebook and so on. Instant audience. So, I mean, if you were going to do it, what would you do? Like, people say, well, where do we start? Where would we start? We go, right, okay, tell you what you do. It's really pretty straightforward. Sit down, get your team to sit down and work out a series of live streams. Well, what we're going to talk about, you ask the salespeople. The salespeople are the ones that are going to drive this, not marketing. Forget marketing for a minute. There's some bits of the pieces they can do, but they're not important when it comes to this. So your salespeople come up with some ideas. And by the way, I've got all this online. Look at last week's. There's a whole list of things of ideas, like 30, 40 ideas of different show segments, and you only want 3 show segments per show. Speak to customers, talk about kit, talk about deals, talk about new updates, loads. Just the list goes on and on and on. Okay? Get 2 of them in front of the camera. Let them have a laugh. Let them engage your customers. Get you on there. I'm the CEO. This is Rad. Great to meet you. Really, really pleased that you've joined us. I'll hand over to these 2 guys. I look forward to seeing you at some stage in the future. Press the flesh, kind of, so to speak. So, come up with a program. 101, you should have a database of your total addressable market in whichever country you're listening to this in. So if you're in let's go with the UK. In the UK, your company must have, rule 101, you must have a database of the UK for your total addressable market that you bought from a list broker. I'm making an assumption you have that, because if you haven't got that, go and fire someone. Because you can't expect a numbers game to work unless you've got the beginning, the primary number, which is your total addressable market. No primary number, your salespeople are flailing all over the place. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing, what the expectation should be, or why. So, say you've got your database, email them all at the same time and say, guess what? We're doing a live show. Come and join us. Then take that database and upload it to LinkedIn and do a pay-per-click banner advert type campaign for your banner adverts to appear on the news feeds of the 10,000 people you just sent emails to. Double bubble. To send out 10,000 emails, so we're not talking marketing automation here, to send out 10,000 emails costs you, like, I don't know, 100 quid a month. Send out 2 emails every week. It's pennies. So you broadcast your live stream, convert it to a podcast, and then you engage, I don't know, how many people are in your total addressable market? Mind boggles. And all you've done is set up some camera mics and lights in a room. Or you can do it distributed as well. But say, for example, like this is one room, not very big room, broadcast to the world. And with lots of people working from home, you've probably got a bit of spare space in your office. So set it up at your office. Do a broadcast, tell them to come into the office and do it. And also it gives a central place for people to test it and play with it and get used to it and get comfortable with it. Do some demo run, all this kind of stuff. Lots of, and we train people up. We have programs for it. We've got documentation for it. We've got spreadsheets for it. We've got every single potential, I say potential, every single element required to implement this in a company. And I didn't mean to have this camera on. I meant it to go to that one. And the thing about this is that, you know, we've got all this technology. It is about using. Sometimes you make a mistake, but go with it. It's live. And it's the authenticity that people are looking for. Yeah? And you can only get that authenticity from doing this, communicating live now, being able to say, look at this, look at that, I'll change it over to here. Yeah? Camera, mics and lights. And so because of that, if you look at the numbers of people involved in being able to deliver this is just me doing it. So, yeah, if you've got the time is an issue. But if you've got a couple of... you don't need to get your hosts... You don't need to employ your hosts, if you sort of mean, because you've already got your salespeople. You've got gregarious, outgoing, very communicative and affable salespeople and very competent salespeople who can sell. You want them to sell in front of the camera. That's what you need. So that's why marketing is no good for marketing. They're not involved in this, because you want salespeople in front of the camera communicating to prospects. And then when they're on, you've seen this before when people are doing live streams, I'm sure. Someone says, if you've got a question, just send us a question in. They go, okay. What about this? And someone else over here fills it out, looks at the screen, looks at the messaging, and answers them straight away. It's spectacular. I mean, you've probably gathered, I love doing this. I'm a bit apprehensive right at the beginning. It's like kind of walking around a bit and going, okay. But the thing, I'm not, it's only me in the room. But it's kind of like getting a bit, it's not camera shy. You probably guessed I'm not camera shy. But it's that thing, it's making sure it all works. But then when it doesn't work, you go, well, it's live, isn't it? But then you can use all the same kit, because you're going back to this image. You use all the same kit to produce videos. Maybe your prospects, or rather your customers, would be quite enthusiastic to go on a live show. Some of them might not be, but you could film them and film an interview with them as a video. You could use your techie people and film them doing implementation installation work. You could film them. Anybody anywhere in any department across your company can be and should be filmed. For every single potential touch point, if it's digital and filmed live or recorded, means that you are truly open 24/7 around the world. Anybody can find out, look at, learn, and engage with you in their time, wherever they are, without any restrictions whatsoever. Nothing, absolutely nothing can beat this. I've employed 40 salespeople at one point. Hated every minute of it. People are out there that for some unbeknown reason to me, enjoy managing hundreds of people. I have no idea where that comes from. That's not for me. But I've done it. I've gone as far as I wanted to go. Didn't like it. Because I could say I am entrepreneurially creative. So I've created this and a methodology and infrastructure which you can look at and pull apart. It's all done. It's all available. And that's what I want for you. Because I know about stress and grief and aggro, life, death. Been there. I've got more t-shirts and hospital gowns than I would want anybody to ever have. So I've got the t-shirts. And so when it comes to, there's a burning question, and there's always a burning question. It's like, how long is it going to take? If we do this, see, there's a typical one, yeah? There's a typical one. I pressed the wrong button. How long is it going to take? And this is the most important information for sales and marketing and businesses to grasp. Back in 1997, and I should have put it on here, but I forgot. I'll do it next week. There was a doctor in 1997 that came up with an analysis and some research that said that in order to become familiar with a customer, with a potential customer, you needed to appear in front of them 7 to 10 times. However, this is 1997, 1 in 3 messages get through because of spam, holidays, loo, meetings, didn't see it, whatever. 1 in 3 get through. So it meant back in 1997, you needed 30 messages to be produced and sent out on a regular basis for them to see you, to recognise, and for you to become familiar to them. Familiar, not prospects, not customers, familiar. Now, 25 years later, 26, 25, is 20 to 30 touches, because in 1997 there wasn't Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Didn't exist. The noise that is out there now is staggering. How on earth do you cut through it? The only way is repetition. Yeah, back to repetition again. And so to do that, it's 20 to 30 touches. But 1 in 5 to 1 in 10 get through. And that's why you need 100 to 300 messages that keep reinforcing your message, who you are, what you've got, read this, watch that, have a look at this, listen to this. And for that to be on autopilot, happening every day. And so, and that's the reality of it. And the reason we've got these logos at the bottom is that your competition isn't the companies that you know in your particular area of expertise. Your competition are luxury brands. You know, you're looking at you know that your prospects, your potential market are looking at their news feed, and they're flicking through it. They got their phone and they're doing what they're doing, and they're just going through it and so on. And it's like, okay, Adidas come up with a great advert. Red Bull, Gymshark, Yves Saint Laurent, whoever, brilliant, amazing. Thousands of pounds, hundreds of thousands of pounds spent on the adverts. That's your competition. It's competition for eyeballs. And that's why you have to adopt something that changes. It changes the way that your prospects visualize and engage with you. And the thing about this, because I mean, this can work in your favour. Don't think about this. Your marketers have been so lazy and more concerned and concentrating on getting paid every month than they have been about researching the markets to get a better way of doing things. Yeah. So every single company is doing the same thing. Every single one of your competitors are doing exactly the same thing. Demand gen, lead gen, ABM, pay-per-click. Every single one of them. And it's costing them a fortune. They're not getting anywhere. Now, switch to this. Think about it. You message every potential prospect out there at the same time. Come and watch us. Come and get to know us. Be authentic about it. But come and get to know us. If you like what you see, let's do business. If not, keep learning from us. And your competition, because bearing in mind, I can only speak to a certain number of people. I only know a certain number of people. I'm only connected to a certain number of people. And it's only me. But if you're watching this, just imagine. You trounce your competition. They're not doing it because they're probably not listening to this. Yeah, specialist. It's so simple. It's not funny. Takes a little bit of creativity. Well, why not? So, in closing, it's not about the money. It was never about the money. It was always about the personality and engagement between your prospect and your salesperson and the numbers. Like I said, Dale Carnegie, tell people your story, you'll succeed. So that's all that matters. Nothing else matters. And sell to your prospects how you buy already, because you know how you like to buy. Don't think someone can just blag them and go and get an appointment, go and flog them something. No, because they're going to buy exactly the same as you. They're running a company the same as you. Let them say I'm anonymous. You don't care who they are, because you're speaking to potentially so many. You couldn't cope with that many leads anyway, but speak to that many people. And when they're ready to buy, can we buy something from you? Yes, of course you can. And as part of this process, you make sure you make processes as easy as possible for people to buy from you. Minimise that friction. Because I know you want to sell one-to-many. You don't want to sell one-to-one. You want to sell stacks of it. But the bottom line is, B2B marketing has failed. It failed a long time ago. And it's all about your salespeople. It's all about their ability to communicate how great your product is, how great your organisation is to a massive audience. That's what you want. I just looked at that bottom thing. It says, the future is still bright. The future's bright. Remember, the future's bright, the future's orange? Anyway, that was by the by. An old advert. But that's it. That's it from me. Next week is we're going to talk about startups and scale-ups. And the last bit there, it says, the sins you don't know you're committing, which was a ChatGPT title that I thought I'd keep. So anyway, that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to keep doing this, because it's not just have a look at this and buy that. It's getting under the skin of people to understand that this all singing, all dancing process of digital marketing doesn't work. Parts of it do. Of course they do. Parts of it are useful. Parts of it can be used. You don't have to bin everything, but you've got to be pretty darn sure why you're keeping it. And right now, best thing you can do is look at a business case for everything that you've got at the moment. Can't touch this. This is so, you could say, so cheap, low cost, but the exposure and engagement is beyond anything that your company will have ever experienced in the history of your company. And so it's not. It shouldn't be a decision. Well, I don't really think we should do that. No, I don't really think we should keep our marketing people. Should we keep them? Should we fire them? Well, that's the job for you. Make them redundant, because they've been flogging you a consumer-orientated strategy which you're not going to use anymore. So the strategies become redundant. Fire them. Sorry, make them redundant. And I am absolutely deadly serious. But that's a really serious note to finish on. Finish on a good note. If you like this, interested in this, call me. Have a chat. I could do this remotely, anywhere in the world. Show you some of the different things that we've got set up. Whether it's these types of things where you've got the lower thirds things coming up, video adverts, the scope and extent that you can use. It is by far the most exciting opportunity for any B2B, because this market has kind of been under the radar for years, for decades. I'm talking decades. And now it just, hang on a second. We can use that bit of software template that costs $20 to do this, or use that to do that. How come all this stuff has been available? It's because the people in the TV industry and cable have been using it for decades, and it's no different. So that's it. So really, I hope a really positive note that the future is bright. Doesn't matter where you are at the moment. This can happen fairly quickly. Imagine you get your first show out, first live stream. Everybody enjoys it. And someone says, do you know what? It's exactly what I'm looking for, and calls you up and says, we'll have that. Now it gets back into being a bit like the new gold rush. You have to look at it like that. If you don't, shut up shop, do something else. But this is great. That's it from me. Have a wonderful day to the rest of today. Great weekend. Have a good week next week. And I'll see you next Thursday. And if you made it to the end, I have to give you an applause. And that's it. Here's the outro. Bye for now.